want to ask you guys a question because this was a big-time engagement driver, comment driver, tons of debate on our last couple shows. The best freshman, true freshman, none of these red shirts, okay? None of these guys who sit around drinking beer for a year, then they get to play college football. Best true freshman in Michigan football history. You got a lot of people saying Mike Hart, Rick Leach, Chad Henne, quite a few others. Some Tate Forciers are thrown in there. Comment below on YouTube, on Facebook. Let me know who you think the best freshman in Michigan football history is, and I will get in there and tell you guys what I think as well. And while you're answering that question, screenshot that down below if you want to, but make sure you follow me on Twitter. I am an awesome game day follow. I'm always putting on the highlights. I'm always putting out some interesting tidbits on game day at James Yoder. Go ahead and follow me today. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Go ahead and do it today. Shoot me a text if you come from If you come from YouTube and follow me on Twitter, make sure to shoot me a tweet. Say, hey, just followed you. Watch the show on YouTube. Whatever you want. Really appreciate you guys doing that. Number 18, a man with brains and heart. It's Will Hart. A big surprise last year in a positive way at the punter position. And I think as you saw Moody outside the top 25, I think Michigan's not going to be in the situation where they've got field goals are going to make or break things. But with a hurry-up offense, with more plays from offense, more stress is going to be on that defense. And I think Will Hart being able to get in there, have 45, 48-yard booming punts is going to be a big-time impact for Michigan's entire team, and will really help the defense out if the offense is having games where they're faltering or having trouble moving the ball. So Will Hart, a surprising number 18 on my top 25 most important Michigan football players for 2019. Next up, Michael Dwumfour. You know, Michael, I'm not a big fan of this guy's name, by the way. I always think I'm saying Dwumfour or whatever it is. But Michael Dwumfour, multiple-year starter, the only starter returning on that defensive line after Rashawn Gary, Chase Winovich off to the NFL, first-round draft pick. And what was Winovich? Second-round draft pick, third round? I can't remember. Patriots picked him up, obviously. Big-time days for those guys on NFL draft day. But Aubrey Solomon transferred to Tennessee, even though he was starting at Michigan. And Michael Dwumfour is your only returning starter on that defensive line. And interior defensive line, where there was a lot less, probably the least amount of experience depth in the two deep of any position. Potentially in the team outside of running back, Michael Dwumfour, number 17, and we got some the Chat Sports Stats and Research Department told me it was indeed the third round for Chase Winovich. Couldn't remember if he snuck in to the second round, but that's why Dylan Tippett, that's why he's the best stats and research guy in the game. Josh Ross is number 16, going to fill the void as the I think the leader of this linebacking core. Some say it might be Khaleke Hudson, but I think taking over for where Devin Bush left off and being a playmaker is where Josh Ross will fit in this defense. I think he's also a candidate to be captain, maybe along with Hudson, but really liking what I see out of Josh Ross last year and then now coming into this season. So go back to the top 25, recap that one more time. Cam McGrone, Donovan Jeter, Brad Hawkins, Christian Turner, and Jalen Mayfield, who's your starting right tackle. Inside the top 20, Ambry Thomas, Zach Charbonnet, Will Hart, the punter, Michael Dwumfour, and linebacker Josh Ross. Let's dive into the top 15 football players for Michigan football in 2019. Daxton Hill, the fastest player on Michigan's football team. Would have been great if he would have enrolled early. He wasn't able to. Didn't get a chance to do that. Committed to Michigan last fall. Committed to Alabama. Then on signing day, big time surprise. Story broken by me. That he's flipped back to Michigan on signing day. Michigan's highest rated 2019 recruit, top 15 player, 5-star. Cannot wait to see him on field. I think he's going to be a big-time impact player, the likes of Charles Woodson, Jabril Peppers, that you only get every 5 or so years if you're a big-time football program like Michigan. And we asked the question earlier, and a bunch of you guys are responding and answering it. So let's keep it going. We talked about Charbonnet. What's about Dax Hill? Could Charles Woodson be the best freshman in Michigan history? Started, was on the field in that 1995 Virginia game, Michigan's big comeback against the Barber brothers. And by the time we were down to the Ohio State game in 95, when Michigan beat number 2 Ohio State, freshman Charles Woodson, 2 interceptions in that game. So could he be the biggest, most impactful freshman, the best freshman ever? Answer below. Woodson, is it Hart? Is it Henne? Is it somebody else I'm not thinking of? Let us know. Ricky Leach potentially. Now let's take it to number 14. Josh Uche. Is he a starter? Isn't he a starter? I don't know. But he's an impact player for Michigan. We saw that last year when he would come in and pretty much every time he got in the game off the edge, he made a play. He made a sack. He led Michigan in sacks as being like a third-string player last year. We didn't even put a position on there for him, apparently, Josh, you say. I think he's a linebacker is what we put. I think the graphics department is a little behind on that one. Uche is a linebacker. Next up on the list, Kwity Paye, the defensive lineman. There we go. Tad Desai, Mr. Catches Everything. Fix that graphic in real time. What a guy he is. Kwity Paye, defensive line. Fast, lean, got a lot of snaps last year, made an impact as a backup player. Now he, just like some others we mentioned, getting his chance to step in, be an impact player for Michigan, and really show you what he's got. He's a player I think is a potential to leave Michigan early after this year, potentially go in the NFL draft if he has a big time breakout year. But we shall see what we got at Kwity Paye. But he is number 13. In that defensive line, which is replacing 3 starters, most important football players for Michigan in 2019. And Cesar Ruiz is number 12 on our list, the third-year player, started kind of towards the tail end of the 2017 season, last 4 or 5 games, then started all of last year, and is returning for his third year as a starter in some regards, second year as a full-time starter for Michigan at the offensive line. Third team All Big Ten by the coaches last year. 18 career starts, 5 in 17, 13 in 2018, all 13 games last year. On the watch list for the Remington Award Trophy, folks, which is given out to the best center in college football. So I think Ruiz is a big-time player, potentially Michigan's second best offensive lineman behind Ben Bredesen. Some of you are going to argue for Little John Runyon, who was All Big Ten last year. We'll talk about both those guys. We're going to be inside my top 10 as we get inside the top 10 of this list, top 25 players for Michigan in 2019. Before we get to number 11, let's recap the top 25. So we get to 11 and then inside to number 10, Cam McGrone, Donovan Jeter, Brad Hawkins, Christian Turner, and Jalen Mayfield. Top 20, Ambry Thomas, Zach Charbonnet, who I think will be starting running back by midseason, punter Will Hart, Michael Dwumfour, and Josh Ross at the linebacker position. 15, you got Daxton Hill, the fastest man on the team, Josh Uche, Kwity Paye, Cesar Ruiz, the starting center, who's only a true junior, could have a whole another year out of him, could be a 4-year starter. And number 11 on our list, Carlo Kemp. I don't think he's the 11th most talented player on this roster. I certainly think there are more talented players than him, certainly more than 10 players more talented than him. I might put him on talent somewhere outside the top 15. But impact, inside, Michigan has lost a lot of depth. Got freshmen in the 2 deep, moving fullbacks over to play at defensive tackle on 3 technique and 5 technique. Carlo Kemp is very important because if he gets injured, if he goes out, if he's not able to play for this team, Michigan is incredibly thin at the defensive line, and that's why he is number 11 on our top 25 most important players. Thanks so much for watching the Michigan Football Report, folks. I've got videos for you here. I got some more videos for you here. Season's almost here, guys. Watch these videos, right? And while you're here, click this button, click it to subscribe to the Michigan Football Report. We'll be back in a couple days with our 5 most impactful Michigan football games for 2019. Go Blue.